Honorable Ministers Simpson, Augulis, and Masiulis, Deputy Minister Bittel, members of all kinds of parliaments joining us today, dear Herald, Madame Trautmann, RB Rail's godfather, Mr. Callas, Excellencies, dear online audience, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Rail Baltic implementing family, may I welcome you to the first of, I believe, very many global fora to come. We are delighted that in the next 2 days, a total of about 1,000 forum participants from 18 countries will bear witness to the fact that Rail Baltica has gained truly tangible traction. Your presence demonstrates that the project deserves a deeper discussion and attention from the realm of politics, business, government, and civil society. Our unique Rail Baltica project has national, regional, and European value. We're building a new economic corridor to tether Northeast Europe even better to the rest of Europe. Its effect will significantly change the Baltic countries' urban and economic landscape for a very long time to come. Now, our previous speakers have already touched on the potential of economic growth enabled by railway infrastructure, and shortly we will share Rail Baltica's updated facts and figures from the initial cost-benefit analysis of 2011 that underpinned the long-term investment decision by all currently involved parties. Moreover, we will illustrate with international case studies that it's important to build a railway that is more than infrastructure alone, and trust that our regional, even local politicians, a few of who are in this audience as well, will pay heed to the immense opportunity Rail Baltica presents for economic gains that are beyond railway infrastructure alone. The project's cost-benefit analysis clearly shows that there will be more net benefits to society than the investment costs. Thus, let me share my vision of how Rail Baltica will enable a new economic corridor in Northeast Europe. To begin with, Rail Baltica will serve as an important catalyst for continued economic development of the Baltic states, both in the construction phase as well as when operational. If you were to compare different types of investments in infrastructure, you would see that investments in high-speed rail deliver some of the highest levels of secondary economic benefits and macroeconomic multipliers. So what are the aspects Rail Baltica will influence with the new economic corridor? Mainly, it will not only set in motion powerful cross-border regional integration, but also integrate Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania into new supply chains of regional European and global significance. As you know, Rail Baltica is a key element of the European Union's TEN-T North Sea Baltic Core Network corridor. A northbound extension of this corridor shall pave the way for future connectivity with the emerging Arctic corridor, especially taking into account the potentially lucrative prospects of the alternative Northern Circle maritime route between Europe and Asia. Moreover, the North Sea Baltic corridor intersects with the Baltic Adriatic corridor in Warsaw, paving the way for new supply chain development between the Baltic and Adriatic seas, thereby connecting the Baltics with the hitherto inadequately accessible Southern European markets. Similarly, Rail Baltica will strengthen the synergies between north-south and west-east freight flows, creating new transshipment and logistics development opportunities along the European and Asian overland trade routes, better known as the New Silk Road. Imagine what Eurostar has done for developing the area around London's St. Pancras station, or the high-speed TGV from Paris to Lyon, or the already mentioned Öresund Bridge between Malmö and Copenhagen. By extension, we believe that Rail Baltica's railway can create opportunities for value creation with such secondary economic benefits as commercial property development, revitalization of dilapidated urban areas, private spin-off investments, new business creation, technology transfer and innovation, tourism development, and other catalytic effects. The 3 Baltic countries have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to take true advantage of this project by planning thoroughly and seeking solutions beyond short-term opportunity and challenges. We know that Rail Baltica will create a new standard of passenger and freight mobility in Northeast Europe, and our region's passengers will be the greatest winners. Modern high-speed rail connectivity provides for comfortable, safe, and environmentally friendly passenger mobility. Passengers in the Baltic will finally be able to travel on a level of quality, speed, comfort, and passenger experience in total, long enjoyed by our Western European peers. Children born today will look back at our current mobility habits and wonder how we managed. Businesses, such as freight owners and forwarders, will be able to streamline and diversify their supply chain processes due to direct and unimpeded high-capacity access to the European railway ecosystem. And most exciting are the new development opportunities for intermodal and multimodal supply chain management. The new railway infrastructure and its future commercialization shall serve as a platform for digitalization and innovation within the new paradigm of seamless intermodal connectivity, supply chain transparency, as well as service integration and personalization. And by integrating the region's key transport infrastructure elements into the Rail Baltica ecosystem, the project will pave the way for the development of new intermodal and multimodal logistics solutions. We will, for example, bind seaports and inland logistics facilities to airports and city terminals. This will strengthen the Baltic ability to organize trade with the rest of the European Union at competitive transportation rates and be better positioned along major European and global supply chains. Our aim is to see that the Baltic states can play an even greater part in European transport and logistics, facilitated by intermodality, high added value logistics services, digitalization, and improved supply chain management skills. And thus, Rail Baltica should be seen as an important asset and a source of competitive advantage for a new regional standard for logistics solutions. We envisage Baltic freight industries gradually diversifying from the more traditional freight segments to containerized freight and piggyback transportation. Muuga in Estonia, Salaspils in Latvia, and Kaunas in Lithuania will be the initial locations ideally placed to develop into platforms for assembly logistics and other high added value activities capable of supporting just-in-time processes in other industries. Isn't it time that IKEA, for example, establish a more significant logistics center in the Baltic, as it already has in Poland? And passengers, too, will have access to new intermodal transport solutions. Rail Baltica's route alignment foresees links to central business districts and airports to ensure convenient connectivity for seamless business travel. Such pan-Baltic connectivity is bound to enhance leisure travel and tourism as well. As future travel evolves to integrate different transport solutions in a single digitally controlled, fully traceable door-to-door package, the role of so-called integrator hubs only strengthens. This means that city terminals become multimodal hotspots, while airport railway stations become gateways for seamless air-to-rail connectivity. In this regard, Rail Baltica will provide a platform for the creation of integrated passenger travel solutions that have never been available in the Baltic states before. Now, economically important infrastructure must also be environmentally sustainable infrastructure. 21st century Europe faces many challenges posed by global warming, pollution, and other environmental issues. We will reduce the environmental footprint of human mobility in the Baltic states. Railway, you see, is the only major transport mode that doesn't depend almost entirely on fossil fuels. Its share of Europe's transport energy consumption is less than 2%, despite a market share of over 8.5%. Therefore, by inducing a modal shift from road to rail, both for freight and for passenger traffic, Rail Baltica will promote a significant reduction of the monetary effects from climate change due to economies of scale, as well as helping slash road maintenance costs and reducing noise pollution. Importantly, Rail Baltica will further sustainable employment and education opportunities. Clearly, in the design and construction phase, the project will give a big boost to employment. At the end of the phase, though, we expect to have established new employment opportunities in the fields of railway and project management. Though with different emphasis per country, the Baltic states still have a strong position in the traditional 15-20 millimeter railway system, and the intersection between the two systems can only strengthen new freight patterns. Thus, we should seek a path of migrating railway professionals to opportunities in the new European gauge railway ecosystem. This would lead to the emergence of highly competent professionals with expertise in both railway systems. And as soon as we will be operational, new jobs will emerge in infrastructure management and maintenance, station and terminal management, as well as all types of passenger and freight operations. So Rail Baltica's implementation shall serve as a platform for the creation of a regional center of excellence and competence, accumulating best practice know-how and expertise from other large cross-border projects, promoting technological transfer and breeding innovation for the first time on such a scale in the Baltics. On the macro level, Rail Baltica will enhance labor market connectivity. Job catchment areas will expand, enabling new daily commuting patterns between seemingly distant points. We know that Rail Baltica will act as a new value platform for digitalization and innovation. The European railway industry is rather keen to accommodate disruptive technologies through digitalization and the development of intelligent transport systems. Digitalization alongside decarbonization is consistently among the European Union's key strategic priorities in the development of European cross-border transport connectivity. Transport Commissioner Bulc seems to address this in every single speech she makes. Innovative technologies such as smart data analytics, the Internet of Trains, next-generation communication networks, passenger data applications, sensor deployment, and smart energy will increasingly permeate all aspects of railway design, construction, maintenance, operation, and supply chain development processes. Thus, in the very near future, Rail Baltica will provide additional impetus to the rapidly developing startup ecosystem in the Baltic states, creating new opportunities and promoting digital and sustainable innovation across all project stages. Last but not least, we must address safety and performance improvements. It is empirically proven that rail is among the safest modes of travel. In terms of accident fatality rates, rail is almost 30 times safer than private cars and almost 3 times safer than public buses. Naturally, by promoting a modal shift from road to rail, and thereby reducing the number and intensity of freight trucks on public roads, there must also be a positive impact on road safety. Every 4-hour road trip I take between Riga and Vilnius or Tallinn, I long for the considerable travel time savings Rail Baltica will deliver. Compared to private car travel, where time is spent behind the wheel, or air travel, which involves a series of consecutive activities, high-speed trains travel seamlessly city center to center, often non-stop, allowing for an undisrupted, productive travel time. As the cities along the Rail Baltica route develop, traffic intensities will climb proportionately. Rail Baltica will provide an alternative option for travel that avoids and simultaneously helps alleviate urban traffic congestion. Now, having enumerated the range of Rail Baltica's expected deliverables, let me share with you who Rail Baltica's beneficiaries will be. And those are not Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania alone. Finland and Poland, too, will gain from strengthened regional connectivity. All of us in Northeast Europe will be better connected with Central and Western Europe. Imagine, the total area of these 5 European Union countries is 826,125 square meters, which constitutes almost 19% of the EU's total territory. Now, 10% of the European Union's population are the 50 million Poles, Lithuanians, Latvians, Estonians, and Finns that comprise a prospective Rail Baltica travel target market. These 5 countries have over 2 million small and medium-sized enterprises. This means that in the future, the SME segment will be able to develop its business by using enhanced market access provided by Rail Baltica. And furthermore, there are over 600 higher education institutions with 2.6 million students, even excluding Poland, who will be able to look forward to opportunities provided by Rail Baltica with an extended student catchment area. And last but not least, in all 5 countries, over 50% of the population travels every year. We see significant growth potential for regional tourism with Rail Baltica as of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, beneficiaries thus are many in all 5 countries, but they are only the beginning. In your silent thoughts, you may be smiling at the notion that the large and great nation of Poland improves the beneficiary estimates. In a way, it's true, so please continue smiling. But in fact, the real border for Rail Baltica's beneficiaries is even greater, as it encompasses all the European Union's inhabitants. If you take only one conclusion from this forum, I trust it will be that by building a new economic corridor in Northeast Europe, Rail Baltica will create more prosperity for all of Europe as a common good for the European Union. Thank you for your attention, and may the rest of today's program strengthen your belief in Rail Baltica.